Welcome to Gothtober.
Feel free to sleep as if and live again. Beyond race, beyond religion, beyond man's fears. I am the end. Now is release. Now comes revenge. Now is the pain. You think you know pain? You know nothing. Feel my touch. Feel the pulsing surge. Know the meaning of
Gentlemen, you must control your killing instinct. In all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered.
Yes, I know you're hungry. Ah, and here comes dinner.
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the drunk, the Viking monk.
Speaking of that, sounded like
Something else.
sounded like Barney at the end of that.
I believe that was a little snippet from Halloween.
Oh, well, okay.
Yes, a little Dr. Stein. Stein?
I don't, you never, they need to put a little symbol over it to let you know which way to go.
All I know is I am Kevin Lestat Williamstein, and that is Count Robert Von Harrison.
Count Druncula.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Working.
yet. Cheers.
Not yet. Working on it.
Skål. All right. We're drinking out of our great pumpkin mug.
Viking mugs. These have a very prominent place in my kitchen because they're so badass.
They are badass, and they're heavy.
Oh, yeah. If they fall off a shelf, somebody's getting
That's
beaned pretty good.
So, sir, did I finish? I don't even know if I finished it. Yeah, we you know what? We're good. We're a podcast.
We're over 300.
We do this.
We can have a tude.
every week.
We have a little bit of a tude now.
Yeah.
We'll
just
a little
go
bit of a
with it.
tude.
Yes, we'll just go with it. What is going on this week? Our fourth week of
Gothtober.
I had a wedding this weekend, and
got married again.
Again, I've been married like 500 times. They had it for their reception. It keeps getting better. So for the reception, they had.
Well, let's just make sure if people maybe knew.
Oh, yeah.
You rent your house out.
Yeah. So you can rent my house for the right amount.
Yes.
And the right amount is an envelope of cash.
A copious sum of money.
Thick envelope, untraceable bills. It helps. So yeah, we had a wedding here, and I've got friends that do all the wedding planning. So I just clean up, and they do all the actual work. But the beauty of it, in addition to an envelope of cash, is I get to kind of sneak in and sample the food and get leftovers sometimes. So this one I was really excited about because for the reception, they had a pizza buffet and a donut buffet
Wow.
for dessert.
Were these big people?
No.
Okay.
And that's what I was when I saw them walk in, I'm like, oh, there's going to be way too much pizza here.
Right.
Because I knew how many pizzas they had ordered.
Yeah.
So I was really excited. So
Looking to see, I don't see any larger people. Oh,
yeah,
I'm going to have leftovers.
I didn't have competition.
Yeah.
So when I have weddings, Ronnie James, DOG, and I usually hang out in the basement in our studio here. And I can work in my workshop, but we just hang out. I'm the troll in the basement. They usually don't know who I am. They've never met me because they deal with the wedding planners. But for the good weddings, I'll sneak upstairs at an opportune time and snag a plate of food. And so the wedding planners know this, and they get embarrassed sometimes because I come up in street clothes, and then people are looking at me like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, who invited this guy?
Is he with the groom? Or
doesn't
the
even know how to
bride?
dress at a
I know. I
wedding.
come in, I've got like jeans and sneakers on.
Right.
So I've had fun with that over the years, but for the pizza buffet, I
Shirtless
could smell
in
it.
your- in your boxers.
Scratching myself. Hairs and a mohawk. So I snuck up. Everybody was outside doing something. There's some, I don't know what it was. They're talking like a speech or something. So nobody they had taken some pizza, but there's still a lot. So I'm going to sneak in there and very surreptitiously grab some pizza and then sneak back downstairs. And I did the most Robert thing that I could possibly do. The pizzas were stacked on these little metal towers. And I grabbed a piece and I kind of rotated the metal pan to get to the other one because I couldn't reach it. And it threw off the weight. And so the pan started to slide off. And with my cat-like reflexes, I reached up to grab it and knocked it into the tray above it.
Bang, bang,
So
bang,
not
bang,
just one, but two trays of, luckily there was only like half full, but two trays of pizza fell off on the
Well, that's your pizza now.
Of course, it made the loudest racket, and everybody turns and looks into the
like-
kitchen.
Somebody's stealing our pizzas.
Yeah, and there's the wedding planner, my friend, staring at me with like daggers shooting through my stomach, like, you stupid idiot.
Everybody has their glasses up raised.
Oh yeah, they're like doing a toast or something. Like, so it's kind of quiet. It's not like a loud reception. It's died down so somebody can make a speech. And there's this racket, clangety, clangety, and they come
They're
in from
making
the
that
kitchen.
speech, but I wish Grandma could have been here. You know, I remember the time. Clang, clang, clang.
And I'm pretty sure they heard me go, shit. So on top of that, I'm just letting out profanities in my own kitchen. And so it was the whole thing. And the wedding planner's like, I will bring you a plate of food. For God's sake, don't come steal it. So if
You
this is-
just couldn't control
so
yourself.
you can rent my house, but I come with it. So you got to put up with me too.
I get this cartoon image of you like
Oh yeah,
and then following
like
the whiff of
floating
of
upstairs.
Pizza flavor.
That's exactly, because I didn't know until like right before that this was going to be. I didn't ask, what's for dinner,
Right.
but I smelled it when they delivered it. It was just like, oh my God, that smells so damn good. Pizza is one of my favorite things in the world. So
What'd you do with the donuts? Did you have one or no?
I walked past them.
Good
Kevin.
for you.
Can you believe that?
Good for you.
Because I knew I
just
shouldn't
bad
shouldn't
idea.
even be eating the pizza on top of that. But I'm like, I'm just going to overload on pizza and just walk past the donuts, so I feel like I'm being healthy.
Anything coming up that you want to share, perhaps?
No,
that's-
you know what I'm doing. You see, it was sitting in the
yes,
driveway.
It was. I walked up and I see the RV.
Yeah, got the RV, Clark.
And it's opened.
Shitter's
And I
full.
was like, huh.
Yeah, so it's getting aired
Is it
out.
camping out already?
Getting ready to go camping this weekend. It's going to be just gorgeous weather.
No rain, huh?
The rain's coming in Sunday afternoon, so it's going to be perfect.
You will be
I'll
long
be loaded
gone.
up and ready to go by then. So yeah, it's going to be in the like mid 70s during the day and maybe upper 50s. So I'm bringing my heated jacket to handle the upper 50s.
Just hold your wad there, fella.
I'll stop by and bring you some gin.
Oh,
before,
please. And a bucket of puke. They go well
Nobody
together.
saw me
I've seen.
puke, did they?
No,
Nobody
no.
saw that.
You were very, very
Oh, that was good.
shy about that. Yeah, you hid that well. So yeah, that's good. I'll have probably a couple of stories after that. So, but yeah, that's about it. What's going on with you?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. You got a family. You got
Well,
stuff.
let me just.
You got stuff going
I will
on.
tell you, there was a little something on Friday. We had a cliffhanger last week, if you remember.
Dun,
before we get
dun,
into
dun.
Gothtober. Yeah. So I snagged a ticket to the Rush.
Did you
show.
get one?
I got one.
Okay.
And I will be going with our friend, our listener,
Yes.
David Glenn. He and I both got in. We were trying to get the tickets. They were going so fast.
Of course they would.
It was like we could not find the travel package. As soon as you would see one, it would go away. and you were like scrolling down like
is
crap.
Giving me PTSD from
It was-
registering for college classes.
It was tough, but David was able to secure 2 tickets, and he and I will be meeting. He lives in Amsterdam, you see. So I will be flying from Atlanta. He will be flying from Amsterdam to Toronto, Canada.
Take off!
Oh, yes. We're going to go see Rush in their home.
But it's in August, right?
It is in August.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Be fine. Yep. Next year.
Nice.
A year away. So
as soon as they settle these out, they're going to announce like 30 other dates.
I know. I know
for
this.
a quarter of the price.
I know this. But it's an event,
I wanted to go. I was, we talked about it, but as soon as I started adding up everything, it was like, I like them. I've already seen them.
Yeah. That's why I reached out to you. I'm like, when you do the conversion, do you really want to do this?
Yeah. Math and finance and stuff. And I was like, that could buy a lot of stuff that I really would like to do or have. But I still would like to go see this tour if they come a little bit closer and I don't have to pay as much as you guys had to pay. Because I know it was an arm and a leg.
It was. Yeah. It was not
two
cheap.
appendages.
It was not cheap, but
I know how big of a fan you are.
Big fan.
And I think that is a money well spent.
And I didn't even announce it. I have tickets to Rush.
Rush reference.
Yes. I do know of some folks going to Cleveland, and I know some folks going to New York. So they did add a bunch of extra shows in a single city. So New York now has 4 shows. Toronto has 4 shows.
Yeah.
Cleveland's the last stop, and I think there was only one show. Maybe they added another one.
Because my friend Mary wanted to go.
But show like the bone.
To the Toronto show. She's got friends. I kind of know them, but she's got really good friends in Toronto. But she and I both talked about it, and she's like, let's find one a little closer. So we're going to wait, roll the dice, maybe roll the bones.
So get out there and rock and roll the bones.
Roll the bones. Nice. Good reference.
See if there's something a little closer. But it's not one of those things that, it's not like Pink Floyd reemerged from the netherworld and
they decided to get back together.
Yeah, they're too old anyway. I wouldn't want to see them. Let's just say there was some type of Pink Floyd thing. David Gilmour, my hero, my idol, he's too old. I don't want to see him like this.
Roger Waters is just too full of fucking piss and vinegar
full
now.
of himself.
Oh my God.
God, I can't take that.
I had to block him from my Facebook feed because it's like every day it was just his big face.
Yeah,
on a video just spouting off about something.
Really, I don't get any of that.
Oh my God,
that's
it's
so
just
funny.
it's every day with
algorithm.
that guy. He is just ornery,
insufferable, old crotchety, old fart.
Just an old
And David is like how I want to go out. I mean, he's surrounded by family. I won't be. He's surrounded by hookers and blow.
You'll have dogs.
Yeah, dogs. That's fine.
Hookers and blow.
Yeah.
What the hell? Robert, for the love of Peter, Paul, and Mary. You're a sexist pig.
No, you shouldn't do the blow.
I didn't say I was doing it. There was hookers there.
Well, that's the reason they're there.
You have one, you have the other.
Right.
They kind of go hand in hand.
And midgets.
God. Again, strippers and midgets on stage. Yeah. I don't know. History with that. But yeah, he is as classy as you could possibly be on his way out the door. He's just being cool with it, does occasional shows, one-off things.
Yeah.
And it's just, just a gentleman. And that's how I'd like to go out.
They talked a lot about his new album. I checked it out.
I haven't even listened to it. Once again,
I tried it.
Love the guy.
Yeah.
He's the one I picked up a guitar because of him, but
it had like 2 little moments.
Yeah.
In 2 songs.
I think that's the one that's all snippets. Is that the one that's all snippets of Division Bell? This is more recent.
No, this was a new Gilmour
the
album.
River. Yeah.
And they were everybody was talking about how great it was, or at least I was reading about how great it was, and I put it on, and I'm like, the first song has a little Floydism to it. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then it goes away.
I'll check it out someday, but I haven't been in a rush. Like we talked about how
you haven't been in a rush.
There's your Rush reference, number 2. But no, when Division Bell came out in 94, where I was, that was like excitement. Oh my God, I didn't think I'd be able to get another one out of them. So it's just, I salute you. Good job. Thank you for all the music. And, had high five for going out in style.
Right.
Whenever that is, not now, but whenever you damn well feel like it.
And I had applauded Rush for doing that too, because
Yeah.
they went out and then Neil got sick and he was gone and that was it. But I did get excited when they announced that they were coming back
I've got
one more
no
time.
problem with it. I love the choice in drummer. I don't know her, but
She is a bad
yeah, of course.
ass.
Now I'm getting snippets of her playing, and
Wow,
so
she
she's a
played.
badass. She's young. She's
not as young as she. I mean, she's in her 40s, but
well. Who's she playing with?
compared to them, she's
80
young.
something. Yeah,
yeah.
But
it's not like she's some young
not
girl.
unknown, but not a name brand.
She's
So-
a jazz player. So,
Yeah, so this is going to just completely elevate her to a different level,
Yeah.
which I love that. And they could have gone out and gotten established drummers and, had 2 or 3 different guys. Hey, I think Don Henley's available.
I'd like to see that.
Don Henley plays Neil Peart.
He just sings Boys of Summer.
Sitting there with the headphones on going, what was that? Can you play that again? Hey, roll that back again.
Hey, just play the track. I'll sing.
Play the track, yeah, whatever. So I like that. I think that was a good choice. And I know they're going to have a couple other people probably on stage to do the synth. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done
concentrate
with
on the bass.
Because their whole thing was, we're a 3-piece. We're going to do it all.
Whatever it takes.
They
to do it
proved
all.
that they could do it all.
Yes.
Like now they're in their 70s. It's like, I don't have to prove anything to you motherfuckers
It's
anymore.
just like what we did. We were a 3-piece, and we're like, yeah, we did that. And we changed instruments. We're like, we've done it all. And so we went to a 4-piece.
Right. We brought in a keyboard player.
A keyboard
So
player.
they're
Like,
doing the
fuck
same
that.
thing. They are following the BJP mold.
Yes, everybody
they said,
should do that.
We're going to do what Big Jack Pneumatic did.
Yeah, this band down in Atlanta.
Yeah. We heard about that.
Yeah, because we sent CDs up there. I think one of the Canadian reps.
Yeah. When Brandon sent his tape to Gene Simmons, Gene passed it over to Getty. So, yeah, I think that's what happened.
Well, that's going to be an adventure and something we can talk about for the next year. So
people are going to love it.
Good for bringing content.
Oh, man.
Lots of content there. And y'all got separate rooms, right? Or you have to share a room?
I think we have to share a room. Yeah. So maybe you want to talk to David.
Woo! Oh, David.
Give me a call.
Yeah, give me a call, man. I'll give you some pointers. I've been sharing hotel rooms with this guy for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not that way.
Those aren't
Not that
pillows.
way.
Del. Why did you kiss my ear?
Why are you holding my hand?
Where's your other hand?
Between 2 pillows.
Those aren't pillows.
Well, after you make everything awkward, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, Sean Geek and Fast Fret Podcast, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, and The Podcast Will Rock, Big Al's Rockin' Podcast, and Doomed! Forget about Monty.
Hey, this is Monty Colvin from Galactic Cowboys and Monty's Rockcast, and you are listening to the amazing InObscuria podcast. Rock on!
Monty's Rockcast. Monty just released a whole bunch of snippets of the new Galactic Cowboys. It's heavy. It's heavier than they've been.
Are we going to get to play that? Is it too popular?
I don't know. We can totally do that.
Okay,
and
good.
I think we should just have an open invitation right now to have Monty on to promote the new Galactic Cowboys.
Do you have his
album.
address? I can mail him one.
Yes, please mail him an invitation.
Okay.
All right.
I'll send him an Evite.
Great. Come visit us, InObscuria.com. Like us, share us. Facebook, X, Instagram. All right. Gothtober is nearing its grand finale of All Hallows Eve. We're not quite there. Got one more week to go. We have our mugs. We have tiny smidge of beer left in them. Did you spill your beer?
I did. Party foul.
That's all right. You got a dog.
Dog's cleaning it up.
That's fine.
Good dog.
So we are no longer pouring sugary cereal into this mug. So instead, we have something else.
I have something to replace that.
We have another sacrificial succulent from the master chef himself. Who is that, you ask? Smack it. Smack it.
Captain! 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 Content!
Captain Content's creepy culinary concoctions.
I like that one. That was good.
Yeah, good one. It was just like last week.
Got me booted. I know. I wasn't paying attention last week, though.
Now, I don't think I've talked about who that is.
No.
Screaming Captain Content. That happens.
you.
It is not
Not
me.
you. I
No,
thought
should
it
we
was.
guess?
Ooh.
Should we have people guess who that is?
Was it Sean?
Maybe we reveal it. It is a podcaster.
Okay.
So we will let people guess.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the guy who actually did it, don't guess because that's no good.
Yeah.
But we will let people guess for this week. And then next week, we will do the grand reveal when we play it for the last time.
Give us a call and leave a voicemail, and we'll play that back.
That's right. Yeah, sounds great. Leave it on the cassette.
Yeah, just beep.
I don't miss that shit at
No.
all.
God,
Oh,
no.
what a pain in the ass.
Rewind.
All right. Give me some food.
Oh. So you're going to wish you had a cup full of sugary cereal after today.
Uh-oh. What do we have? What is the creepy concoction? Shrunken heads.
Shrunken heads. Shrunken pumpkins.
Oh, shrunken pumpkins.
Shrunken tiny jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, they're sticky.
They're very sticky.
I just got it all over my finger.
Well, it's not a bad
Gotta
thing.
grab them by the hair.
Grab them by the hair.
All right.
Just like you do. Oh, never mind.
You are a sexist pig.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
It's falling apart.
Just get it in your mouth.
And suck it.
Just get it in there.
Wow.
I should have brought down some cheese or steak.
Oh,
to
my God.
Wash it down. It is unbelievably sweet.
What is that, fondant? Good Lord.
Just pure sugar. So I thought I was being smart, and that always gets me in trouble. But I bought sugar-free icing, and I forgot anything that says sugar-free is 10 times as sweet. Because
This is sugar-free?
that is sugar. Well, like sugar. It's got all kinds of other horrible stuff in it,
Oh, awesome.
like lard and things. But but
You've taken pictures
I got,
of this.
I got
All
some
right.
on my finger earlier when I was making it, and I ate it, and I literally had to go wash my mouth out. It was so damn sweet.
It's good, though.
It's good, but I can't, as somebody
It's
that,
fruit on the inside.
I don't eat a lot of sugar, so therefore my tolerance is really low. And when I tried to just have a little bit of icing, it just about knocked me out.
The food porn is strong.
That is a tasty treat.
This is tasty strawberries.
Well,
So this
he
is,
actually eats strawberries.
oh yeah.
You're going to eat a strawberry?
Yeah, he'll
All
eat
right.
strawberry. So those are basically strawberries with orange icing and some decorations to make them like jack-o'-lanterns. So
And in this very low-lit environment, it actually looked like a shrunken head.
did it good. But yeah, we'll post a picture. So
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay now.
good. A little sugar crash in about 15 minutes.
Wow. I'm glad I did not have any sort of sweet thing today.
Did you eat all three?
No, I ate two. Gave him
Okay,
one.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I couldn't even get through a bite. This
Oh my God, it's got my sinuses going.
Yeah, it's that
It's not even
sweet.
spicy. It's got
Well,
my
I
sinuses
was went savory with some other things, so that was on the sweet side.
going. All right. Well, you have one more week to wow the listeners. Speaking of, I need to put up this week's picture. I haven't done that yet. I will do that.
I should after the show. I'll show you the rejects because those were those were not the first ones. There were some others that did not turn out good at all. It took some practice. I've never done this before, so this is making it up at the last minute, trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm good at. Is just jumping in, figuring stuff out.
That's how you do.
But yeah, I've got the rejects upstairs. I'll show you. It's pretty bad. Like this.
We should post that picture too.
They're the special needs pumpkins.
Jerry's kids.
Jerry's pumpkins upstairs. It's like buck teeth. Faces are sagging.
We're going to hell. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this week, Robert, extra special because I went down to the old crypt and I opened up a coffin and I removed this very special recording of an old phonograph cylinder. You ever seen one of those?
Yeah, you kind of hand crank.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but it's a cylinder. It's a wax cylinder, and it's what they used before they had records.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like on a player piano, sort of like.
Yeah, sort of like that. Same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a phonograph, and Edison.
Oh, good old
invented this.
Eddie.
Good old Edison. So it's actually an interview conducted long ago with a vampiric ghoul, and I'm about to give you a little taste of it. This vampiric ghoul, way back then, helped pioneer horror punk.
What the hell you say?
Horror punk.
And horror.
You get him.
Horror. Horror punk.
You are a sexist pig.
That's a whole nother genre.
Oh, okay. Well, this is horror punk and metal. Way back in April of 1877. So I have this wax phonogram right here, and I'm glad you happen to have made a makeshift phonogram. If you can just get that out for us, we're going to play this really quick. I'm just going to give you a little example here. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Not to hear my word. What to be, what to say, mother.
You have to commit to that. You can't just half-ass that.
All right, let me just cut it off here. Loud son of a bitch.
It was.
All right, so that is just giving you a little hint of what's coming tonight.
That's all they had to record on back in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I misread when this interview was from. It's from April of 2025. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm totally
That
off
was,
here.
what, 6 years ago? 7 years ago?
2025. No, that was earlier this year.
Oh,
April.
2025? I thought it was 2005.
No, 2025.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry, I wasn't listening.
misread it. So, therefore, Robert, this is episode 305, Eerie Von, Songs from the Road.
An eerie feeling about this.
Oh, this is going to be good. Yes, an artist, if you don't know Eerie Von, an artist associated with the Misfits, Samhain, Danzig. He's mostly known for being a bass player. But before we go in any further, let's hear from the diabolical duo to get their ghoulish approval once again.
I am Captain
Content.
And this is my faithful companion.
Mighty K.
Say hello.
Look at you guys killing it with this episode.
Thank you.
Oofa. That man.
Not that I was a fan of theirs. I'm just saying, I remember them and, of course, that annoying song. But, yeah.
All right, I'm at the gym. I'm going to show Daryl your wieners, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
What? I did not consent.
Hold on.
There was no consent. I did not.
I was totally with her. You know, it was all there. The thought pattern was like clicking along, and then she said something about showing Daryl our wieners.
She's got a happy relationship with him. It doesn't need to put any kind of discontent in there by showing him our wieners.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that means that she's good for going forward with Eerie Von. Sounds like she's not a fan because she doesn't like that annoying song we just played, apparently.
No.
But, you know.
Let's see if we can win her over.
I think we'll win her over. She was in the vicinity when we had this interview. Do you remember sitting down? You don't remember this at all?
Not at all.
Not a clue. Okay.
I mean, I was there.
In April.
I know I was there.
We went to Nashville.
Yeah.
We went to the Rock and Pod.
I've got the
you got
overall part of it.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what time of day. If it could have been 10 o'clock in the morning, could have been 4 in the afternoon.
You hit it the first time.
Was it?
Yeah, it was around then, maybe 11. Yes.
Okay.
Our very first interview of the day was one Eerie Von. Again, the bass player from Samhain and Danzig. He did a little bit with the Misfits, but he was a friend of Glenn Danzig's and Doyle. Mm-hmm. And his real name is Eric Stellman. And he was born in Lodi, New Jersey, which is where Misfits are from. He was born in the mid-'60s. He grew up and went to high school with his best buddy, Doyle, who I mentioned. Doyle, guitarist in the Misfits. He adopted the name Eerie and wound up hanging out with the local punk band in town and befriended their lead singer. His name was Glenn, and he became the primary photographer for that band. So a lot of the old photographs that you see of the Misfits he took those pictures. And then he was just part of that gang. And at the same time, he started his own band, and we may hear a little bit about that. But he also was in kind of the gang of folks that were known as the MISFITS Fiend Club.
Misfiends.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into this a little bit before we play the interview. When I was first getting into punk music, so my introduction to music and really getting into music, not just having it around and casually listening. But when I really first started getting into music, it was Brandon Still, who we had on the program a few episodes ago. Mid-'80s, he introduced me to cassette tapes as he was the skateboard king. We established that in our little town. He was the skateboard king. And he also introduced folks not only to skateboarding, but also to hardcore and punk music.
Was his hair long back then also?
His hair was long in the front. He had something called a devil's lock.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be talking about this.
Well, I know, but I couldn't picture it, though.
Yeah. His wasn't really quite there, but he was growing it out. And he also trend set.
Some friends of mine that skateboarded now. It makes sense.
You have the long hair in the front, goes down below your eyes, you covering your eyes. And they do a lot of shaking their head.
Left.
Yeah, he was that guy.
Yeah.
And he introduced me on a Boy Scout trip. We did a Boy Scout trip to the USS Yorktown, which is an aircraft carrier.
I've been there.
In Charleston, South Carolina. And it doesn't move anymore. They parked it.
Yeah, we had dinner.
Yeah. We went there and we spent the night.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is so damn cool.
It was cool. It was very cool. But on our drive down, he introduced me to a couple of cassette tapes. One of those being Black Flag. Another was Metallica. He introduced me to Master of Puppets. It just come out. And then he handed me also the Misfits.
That would have been 85? 86.
Mm-hmm. So I heard all these things at the same time. It was all new to me. I wasn't into music, but I immediately fell in love with all of those bands, especially the horror themes and the gory campiness of the Misfits. And back then we didn't have, an easy way to find out more information about them. It was just whatever you might read in Thrasher magazine or some kind of media that was out that, you got little scraps of information, but everything had a lot of mystique because you didn't really know. And so people would make up stories, and you didn't know
lore,
if it was, yes. You didn't know if it was real or not. But I love their visual. I love the simplicity of the music and the recordings. I didn't know anything about that at that time. I just knew it sounded cool and different and didn't sound like anything that I had ever heard on the radio. And I liked it. It was tongue-in-cheek. It was very Halloween. It was straight up my alley. That's what I was into as a middle school kid. And some of the first songs that I ever learned to play on drums, as well as guitar, were Misfits tunes because they were easy to play. And then later, as our first band got put together, which was called Frontman, one of the first cover tunes that we ever learned was the new Danzig tune called Twist of Cain. And that album had just come out in 87, and we all loved it. And that was one of the first things we ever played. And I actually bought a poster. I remember this very well. I bought a poster. When you're a teen, you want to change the look of your room. You don't want to have you don't have a kid's room anymore.
You take down the Legos posters.
Yeah, you want to have something that's cool. It says that I'm a teen now.
Yeah.
And, I got to make my room look like me. And so the first poster I ever bought was a Misfits Walk Among Us poster. And it had the gory kind of campy picture of the band on the cover, and their big logos on it. And at the bottom, it had a reading from Revelations.
Very biblical, yes.
It was the bit about the number of the beast. And
but Mom,
my parents never said a thing because it was a Bible verse, and it said Revelations.
Yeah.
And so they never said a word to me, even though what was above that quote were these, fantastical horror-looking creatures. But they never said a word to me, and that's like the only poster I had in my room for a little bit until I started getting other band posters in there. But
your
never said a word to me.
Dr. Williams, walking past your room, sees that, and just goes,
well, at least it's got a quote from the Bible.
Damn kids. I had Volkswagens on the wall. That's it.
Yeah,
nothing satanic.
I had motorcycles. I was
motorcycles
into motorcycles
and Satanism.
Yeah,
that's a good combination.
And skateboards. I love skateboards.
Skateboards, yeah.
So, do you have any past at all with Misfits, Samhain, or Danzig?
God, no. I didn't know I probably didn't know any of their stuff until into the 90s.
Okay. But
once grunge came around.
Once Mother came out, you were aware because that was a big hit, right?
I had that was such an odd song played on classic rock stations because you would get, all the classic rocks and then this song, and it was the only song they played from this band. And
To this day, that's probably still the same.
Yeah, and it was just the way he sang. It wasn't the operatic, Dio or Iron Maiden. It was Brother.
It sounded like Elvis mixed with Jim Morrison.
And so, like I said, they didn't always come in and go, "Hey, let me tell you about this song." They just played the song, and I kept hearing it, and people loved it. It was like an anthem, like "Angry at Your Mother" or whatever it is. And I was just like, I didn't get that song, but it was kind of, you still bob your head to it. It had some grit to it.
So you didn't see the video?
No.
Oh. Because the video really sells what they were. It's Danzig with the shirt off with the upside down cross necklace on.
They probably only played that Headbangers Ball or something.
I think it was on.
I don't remember
sure
seeing
it was on
MTV.
even in the day. But.
How they would nudge and get Duran Duran out of the way to play, Mother. I don't remember seeing it at all. Maybe we did, but maybe it just didn't spark any interest. But they didn't have any hot chicks in it, in bikinis or something. Maybe that's what I was looking at.
Maybe not. I don't remember. They might. I don't know.
So yeah, it was just always this oddball song that was in the background that people liked, and I didn't pay much attention to it, and because it kind of dragged on at the beginning of it. But then later on, like I said, in the 90s with grunge, they would talk about their influences and things like that, and people started referencing Danzig and all those bands as their reference for some of the influences. So I started paying attention then.
Had you seen kids with the skull, the Misfits skull?
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
I know what it was.
Yeah, I told you about getting called out.
Yeah, you have your own Misfits shirt.
Yeah, I had a Misfits shirt, and my friend, she walks up to me just straight face. She's like, "So what's your favorite song?" I'm like, "Damn it! Damn it!"
You know the fast one?
Yeah, that thing. I probably was like, "Mother." She's just like, it's not Misfits. So yeah, I was a poser many times, but yeah, that was it. I like them, but it's never been something I've gravitated towards like you. It didn't really influence me.
Yeah, it was a big deal to us, for kids just picking up instruments for the first time. It was something that was doable, and yet it was also kind of dangerous. Even though it's super campy.
Yeah.
But we felt like it was dangerous. But it's super campy. But I'm going to kind of spin some of these interview segments, and then we'll go into some music. Kind of how we've done before. But
you're driving the ship.
We're going to talk to Mr. Eerie Von. He's an interesting dude. He's a true artist. He's a musician, a painter, a photographer, and an author to this day. And that's all he does. And he's working on new material. He'll tell you all about that as we get into this. He gave us more time than we had with any of the other interviews because it was the first interview and it was in the morning. And
we're all fresh and ready to go.
I think Rock and Metal Combat, I think Ian was waiting for him after us, and I think Ian was kind of like, hey you've had him for like 10 minutes more than you were supposed to.
Me over here.
So sorry about that, Ian.
We screwed up the entire day at that point. Everybody was behind.
Probably, but anyway, he gave us the whole story. When I was editing this interview down, I'm like, shit, he just gave us the abridged version of the entire story of his life. And it's really cool that we got everything. I don't think there's anything left out that we could go deeper with him, but it's a really good interview. So we're going to get into that right now. Let's hear some of his great ghost stories. So we are here. This is so cool, man. We are here with Eerie Von on the InObscuria podcast, the author of Misery Obscura. Welcome to InObscuria.
Thank you.
It's a word.
Glad to be here.
It's a mouthful.
Kindred Obscuria.
I was like, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, I promise we didn't steal that.
I stole it anyway, so.
So let me just open with you being here. I did see you at Rockin' Pod a couple of years ago.
Like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I did 2 in a row, I think, when I was still living in town.
Yep.
But, yeah, well, I don't remember that. I was drinking that year. I don't remember much.
I wasn't in did not have a podcast at that time. We hadn't started yet, but I was just attending. So this is cool for me to actually do this with you now because you yourself take me back on my own personal journey in music, man, because I was a little skate punk. It was like Misfits, Samhain, that was all I was into, all the punk music, all the, suburban white kids with their fake little devilocks.
Yeah, still doing it. I go to skate parks all the time. A friend of mine skates. He's 52 and still skating.
Yeah.
And so I go, and they're still playing the music. They're still playing the stuff they were playing in the 80s.
Exactly. And then once I did pick up sticks, I started playing drums about the same time. I realized I was a horrible skateboarder, so I had to do something else. Picked up the sticks, and of course, the one song, our like finishing song for my first band was a horrible version of Twist of Cain, so thank you for giving us that. We also used to do Skulls, like that was the highlight of our sets.
Those are both tough.
So I do have a question for you, though, as kind of the icebreaker here as we're getting to know each other. You grew up in Jersey with Doyle, Jerry Only, Glenn Danzig, the whole thing.
Yeah.
You guys were in school, I'm assuming high school was late 70s, early 80s?
Freshman year was like 78, 79.
Okay.
Went in September, so we had the 4 months, and then we went to 79. So, yeah, it was...
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I always heard. I always heard that you guys were all into Elvis. Like, you were all fans of Elvis music.
Well, I don't know about Doyle, but...
Well, maybe not Doyle. He's probably not a fan of anything.
Me and Glenn, for sure. And I don't know about Jerry either, but, yeah, I used to give Glenn Elvis records to borrow and stuff like that.
Obviously, in his later years, so Elvis passed away in 77. My question is, you guys are fans, but you're also like burgeoning punks, right? So he was a current musician. I'm assuming you guys weren't listening to current Elvis, but then when he passed away, how did Elvis like impact you as a kid? You know, you're in junior high, getting into high school.
Yeah, well, I was 12 when Elvis died, so I remember seeing the Hawaii special in 73, so I was like 8 or 9. And there was these commercials for like a greatest hits package, and they would play every day, 100 times a day.
Like K-Tel Records?
Yeah, sort of, you know. And they would play like the snippet of each song, and they show a picture, then they play the next song, whatever. So I started hearing that, and I was like, this is kind of cool, you know. And then the special came on, and I got to watch him, and he was like, oh, it's a real person. And it was just, and I think my dad was an Elvis fan back then even. And I said, Dad, can we get this record? It's like $6 for a double album. And he said, okay, I'll split it with you. And I bought the double album, and I've been listening to him ever since. And once you see him like that in 73, he was the top of his game, you know, and he looked so cool and everybody. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I want to do that. So that's how it happened. How Glenn liked Elvis, he mostly liked the older stuff, like the Sons stuff.
Right.
And but he was a fan. But he used to give me endless grief about like, did you hear Elvis used to do this, or just bust my balls about anything Elvis. Or he would ask me any Elvis question. Like he would wait. I'd come on the bus. He'd say, "Hey, what did Elvis used to call his dick?" And I go, "Little Elvis," and I'd keep walking. And he goes, "I knew he'd know that."
You're going to stump me.
So.
The guy who later puts out an Elvis covers album, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I was just surprised because I knew what his favorite Elvis songs were, and they're really not on that record. I was kind of surprised he didn't do a couple of them.
Right.
But, yeah, we were talking about doing the Elvis record years and years ago when I was still in the band, and that and just a straight blues album. And so when the Elvis record came out and I wasn't there, I was like, oh, if I was there, it would have been so much more fun. But he's definitely an Elvis fan, but not to the degree that I am,
Okay.
But we have gone to Graceland a few times.
Yeah.
With Danzig, we had the VIP tour, which was awesome because you could just stay as long as you wanted. And
just hang out.
Yeah, you just drive up the driveway and they say, okay, go ahead.
Now, when is that type of a tour? Are there places still off limits?
You can't go upstairs.
So that still stays the same?
Well, yeah, they always said because the house is so old, structurally they don't think it's good for the house. And also that's where he died. They don't want to show that.
Keep that sacred.
Yeah, and I think they should. But you could go in the kitchen now. I couldn't go in the kitchen. I went in 84. It had only been open for like 18 months. And you couldn't, where else can you go? Oh, well, it was mostly the kitchen, but they've opened up a lot more, and you can get married there now and stuff.
That's cool, man. Okay, so here's. All right, so that's our first little segment with Mr. Eerie Vaughn, and I wanted to talk to him about Elvis because I don't know if you know, but Danzig put out an Elvis covers album a few years ago, and
it makes sense.
It does make sense because if you listen to his voice.
Oh, I was thinking because they have the same sideburns.
Oh, well, that's true too.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, how much did Danzig steal from Elvis?
A lot.
But it just makes sense that his whole vocal approach is basically, I'm going to take Jim Morrison and mix it with Elvis, and you get Danzig.
I never thought about the Jim Morrison angle. That's completely correct. I love that image because it had that baritone-ish, not operatic at all, like we talked about.
And he did a lot. Jim Morrison, people consider him a poet, but he did what I think was like elementary rhyming schemes for the most part. And Danzig did that as well. So I don't know.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple.
What's that spell?
I think it's no, that's not right. We've already done that one.
You are not hooked on phonics at all.
No, not at all. Cheers! That's the only way you're going to get a Kiss reference tonight, probably.
We've been late on those every single episode, so I want to sneak.
We wanted our Kiss connection.
Get it early.
Yes, get our Kiss connection in. Great. Okay, so where I'm going to go with our first song is he left Danzig in 1995. He puts out his first solo album in 1996. That one is called Uneasy Listening. It was an all-instrumental album. It was very lo-fi. It was like a horror soundtrack to a non-existent horror film. And it is uneasy listening. So we're going to go to his second solo album.
We're not going to torture everybody.
Yeah. So it came out in 1999. And this is the first time I remember actually hearing what Eerie Vaughn's voice sounds like. Because I don't know that I ever knew... Yeah, I don't know that I could separate what he was doing if he was singing backups or anything like that. So what's interesting here is he told you he's the Elvis guy. And so when you hear his voice, you are going to hear a very familiar Danzig-like sounding voice here. It's a combination of Elvis and Jim Morrison, but it's Eerie Vaughn. And the funny thing with this is it tells me that he could have sung if Glenn had issues.
Yeah.
And then when Glenn left the Misfits went away, right? And that's when we got Samhain and we got Danzig. But Jerry Only, who was the bass player in the Misfits, he and some of the and Doyle, they put the Misfits back together in the 90s. And they brought in another singer. It didn't sound like Danzig at all. But when that guy left, Jerry Only did the same thing. He took up the mic.
Stepped up to the mic.
And he sounds eerily close to Danzig. So they all kind of had this mock Elvis Morrison thing.
Do you think it just by osmosis from hanging out with him for so long, it kind of rubbed off on them?
They could all kind of do Danzig.
Yeah.
It's just
they could all do Danzig doing Elvis.
Right. That's right. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have you ever been, before we get into this song, have you ever been up to Lake Lanier to, I believe it's called the Green Lantern or something like that, and seen the Elvis impersonator that cooks your dinner? It's a buffet seafood dinner. And then,
oh my God,
as he's finishing up cooking, his sister comes out and she does, what's the Patsy Cline? She comes out and does her Patsy Cline routine. And then he comes out, takes his hairnet off, comes out and he does young Elvis. And then he goes back and he makes dessert. And then he comes back as old Elvis as you're having your dessert.
As God is my witness, I will be seeing this guy.
It's amazing.
I want to see Buffet Elvis. Because that's the best Elvis is Buffet Elvis.
Now, I saw this in the early 2000s, so I don't know if he's still doing it.
That was 20 years ago.
But that was a long time ago.
Killing me. I didn't know about this.
But yeah, that place, it was, I think it was called the Lantern Inn or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, it was amazing. And it was like the nasty fried fish. Not nasty, but you know what I mean. It's like fish camp variety.
It's the best fish, man.
It tastes good.
Shut your mouth. So now he only does old Elvis, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just does old Elvis now. And he had taken over for his father, so maybe his son.
Oh, it's a generational thing.
It's a generational family-run business.
God, only in Georgia. North Georgia, more specifically.
But back to Eerie Vaughn.
No, let's keep talking about Buffet Elvis. I'm hungry now. I want some fish.
It's so good. It is so good. It is a fun time, especially when you've been drinking all day. Anyway, I digress. Eerie Vaughn, he puts out this second album. Originally, this was supposed to be him. He moved to L.A., and he was supposed to join up with Rob Zombie right before Zombie quit White Zombie. And then Zombie said, no, I'm going to go solo. I'm not going to do any project bands. I'm just going to do the solo thing. And so what he did was he's like, well, I came all the way out here. I might as well do something. And so he had a 4-track recorder, a mic, an acoustic guitar, and a distortion pedal. And he went and bought a little Casio keyboard from Toys R Us. And this is all true from his book. I have the copy right here.
I see that.
He stated all of this in his book. So this is true story here. That's what he did. He decided, I'm just going to make my album on a 4-track with those bare essentials. And this is what we got. It's a disturbing, I don't know, it's creepy. It's creepy. So we're going to get the song, The Sum of Love, from his album, The Blood and the Body.
Forever gone.
Well, I'll be damned. That was just weird enough where I love it.
It's creepy, too.
Creepy.
The sparseness makes it super creepy.
I mean, he's got the Bela Lugosi voice. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. All that together. So we know people in the horror film business. I know people in the horror film business. That's a different group of people. You and I know people that make horror films.
We do.
We need to.
That should be in a film.
That should be in a film somewhere. Or some band this came out, you said 90s? 99. Some band since then should have updated that with like a full band. Start out creepy like that, but then kick in with some heavy drums and guitars. That could have been a badass song.
So I mentioned he did this on a 4-track. It sounds like he did it on a 4-track.
100%.
It's just a single mic, an acoustic guitar with a distortion pedal,
and
a Casio.
Both, I think, had a Tascam 4-track.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah, and sat there and noodled around with it when we should have been out dating.
Nah. You ended up all right.
Friday night. That was my entertainment. But yeah, that's just, you've got to appreciate it for what it was. It is very artsy.
I love the creepiness of it.
Yes.
It's disturbing sounding. And the artwork for the album is also very disturbing. It's a picture of a vampire getting staked. And so it's the vampire waking up as the stakes being pounded into his heart. It's a really cool album cover. It's creepy.
What the hell? Ow!
So that was put out by a record company?
Yes.
So where was that conversation held where he's like, all right, I got this idea. Check this out. I'm going to record on a 4-track in 1999.
Remember, he was the guy in Danzig.
Yeah.
So, yes, there was somebody that went, we'll put that out for you.
Sure.
And it probably cost him next to nothing to make it.
$8.
Right. Now, I'm not saying this was a big hit.
No.
But it was out there.
Yeah, but when you only spend $11 on something, it's not hard to make a profit.
Oh.
You sell 4 copies, you're good.
This is a perfect Halloween song, too. There's a reason we saved this interview for Gothtober.
That was the other thing. This is one of the reasons I wished we had trick-or-treaters. I don't get trick-or-treaters on my street. No,
they'd be scared
like
to death just to come over here.
Well, that's the thing. This street is really dark anyway, and I'd turn out all the lights and make it...
Well, you'd have fire going.
Yeah, we'd make it look pretty damn evil, but...
House of Satan.
They don't come down we have a haunted fire truck. Come on.
I know. It should be awesome.
Yeah,
I would come, man.
I don't get squat over here. So anyway,
I should have this playing.
That's what I would be playing.
Yeah. It's just creepy.
You in your HOA neighborhood, I don't know. They might fine you for playing evil. Actually,
I do it all the time.
Evil music.
No, I do it all the time.
Yeah, but that's in July.
True. All right. Well, should we get into another segment of our interview? Let him tell us a little bit more about where he came from. So here's Eerie Vaughn with another section here. Okay, so here's the next thing. So obviously what we do is we focus on more obscure rock and punk and metal. We do everything, that's in that area.
I've been the obscure the whole time.
But you started your journey, if I'm correct in this, you started doing photography before you even picked up the sticks, right?
No, I started drumming first.
You started drumming first,
Yeah,
okay.
I was like around that period, 8, 9 years old, like when everything seems to change. A friend of mine lived up the block, was a really good drummer. He was in a fife and drum corps. That's, marching band type stuff.
Right, yep.
It's really, really good. And I'm like, I'm kind of interested in that. And he goes, well, why don't you come down to Boys Club? That's where we practice, and we got a guy who teaches. So there'd be 10 guys, and you'd go up to the guy, and he would teach you how to play a beat, and then go practice it. Next week, you come back, how are you doing? And So I did that for a while, but the sticks were like this big.
Right.
I had blisters all over the place.
John Bonham sticks.
Yeah, I wasn't that happy about it. So I gave it up for a while and started taking pictures around the same time because my dad got a really good camera from Japan. And then the photography thing came back around 8th grade. A friend of mine had a dark room, and there was you could take photography then. And from my dad's camera, I just started taking pictures, and all the stuff I still do all of it.
Right, right.
So, I don't know, it just all kind of happened at the same time. And
so you were taking pictures of the Misfits as they're kind of in their heyday of getting going and becoming who they are. You also had an opportunity to play drums in the Misfits, is that correct?
Yeah, well, it was kind of Doyle and I were friends.
Right.
And he asked me one day, he goes, are you still playing the drums? I said, yeah, now and then. And he goes, well, you should just learn all the Misfits songs because we always need a drummer. And Glenn just would kick out a drummer every so often. Whatever. Or they just, it's hard to keep a band together. So the drummer always seemed to be the one to win,
Yeah.
So eventually...
Well, they do spontaneously combust from time to time.
Yeah, I seen that. Eventually, he asked me, he was like, oh, Arthur Googie left the band or quit the band, I don't know. And they needed somebody for a show. And I think Doyle said, Glenn wants you to come down, or I might have been talking to Glenn at the time. And I just went down to rehearse. But I never rehearsed with a band where you could hear the singer and stuff. I know that. I was doing hardcore, and we would just make it up as we went along.
So you were doing Rosemary's Babies, right?
Yeah.
At that time?
So I was used to listening to the records and getting cued for changes and things by the vocals. I wasn't a real musician yet, So I played everything twice as fast as they were playing, like Earth AD speed, but they hadn't done Earth AD yet, And so they were like, okay, you're in. We got a show in 30 days. I was like, okay, and that was on a Friday. By Monday, I decided I didn't want to be in the band because I was in the middle of putting out my record with my band. In my band, I was like king shit at Turd Island,
Right.
And I made all the decisions. I wrote most of the songs. I did all the artwork. And I didn't want to just be the Misfits drummer because I knew that was a tenuous position.
Right.
So, but the same guy who taught the fife and drum guy, I took him an 8-track tape with the Misfits stuff on it that Doyle had made me. I said, tell me what they're doing here. So when I go audition or whatever, so he sits down and plays the beat. He goes, this is all they're doing. It's the same beat for every song. So Glenn comes up to me. I'm sitting behind the drums, and he goes, play me a beat. I played that beat. He goes, all right.
That's the one.
And then, that's the one. And then we just ran through the songs, and they were just laughing because I was playing so fast and stuff. So I was supposed to be in a band, and when I think about it now, just for that moment, I'm like, I wonder if Glenn and I would have formed Samhain if I had been in the Misfits and then the Misfits broke up. Would we still have done that band? Then would Danzig have happened? So it probably was the right decision not to do it. Although I would have loved to play on Earth AD.
Right.
Because I was playing that fast.
Maybe you inspired that.
All that shit was happening though. That crossover with the long hairs getting into all the fast shit, going to the hardcore shows, and then the hardcore guys seeing bands that had long hair and played guitar leads. They all started growing their hair, So all that shit was happening. It was a really cool time.
And I want to get into that because. All right, so we got a little Misfits history there and how he almost was in the Misfits and sort of kind of was. Like I said, he was around. Those were his friends. He was hanging out with them. It's, now it's like lore, like you were saying earlier, like there's all these stories, I'm sure, that are not real, but he's telling you the truth. And I mentioned his band. He didn't really go into detail, but he said he had his own band and he was leading it. And that band was called Rosemary's Babies, named after the movie.
Yeah.
And
happy movie.
And he was the drummer. They only ever put out a 7-inch EP while they were together, but they did release a 25-track album of demos and recordings in 1994. Of course, all of those were from 82, 83. So they weren't around that long, but it was his first foray into music, and he's the drummer. So I'm going to play a song from the 25-track album because that's what I have. And apparently the song that I'm playing is called Alice in Murderland. Apparently there's a couple of the songs, or maybe like a set of 5 of the songs that they released that were recorded at CBGB's. I'm assuming not during a performance because it doesn't sound live to me, but perhaps nobody came. I don't know. I would think not because they're from New Jersey.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe.
Maybe it was one of those things where they just recorded, like you said, before the show or something like that. But I'm going to play some Rosemary's Babies for you right now.
Understand? For my little Alice in Murderland.
Only downside to punk rock bands, if you're playing in one, you have to put in like 36 songs for an hour set.
You do, yeah.
It's a lot of songs.
I just told you I'm playing from the 25-track album. I bet it's 45 minutes at the most.
Total.
Maybe even 30.
Yeah, I love all that.
True punk rock, and it's horror punk. That is exactly what the Misfits were doing. Everybody credits the Misfits for horror punk, but there are other bands out there. We've played some others as well on previous Gothtober episodes, but just true punk rock from the 80s. This is the stuff that got me into music. It was that aggression, that didn't sound like anything you had heard on any mainstream media
they didn't play that
radio anywhere. This was like completely underground, and it was
I mean, I didn't even get the Sex Pistols on terrestrial radio. That was played once in a blue moon. Like if there was a special, Anyway, I just don't remember hearing "God Save the Queen" until I was late teens, maybe late 80s.
None of the punk stuff really had any sort of mainstream appeal until after grunge and alternative hit.
Yeah, and that's
because they were all referencing those bands, and it had been underground, and it was never. You would never expect to hear it anywhere except, some music store or something that catered to that kind of crowd.
Some niche place like that. And I remember as we've been talking about this, the Danzig thing, I remember now my memories of Danzig, the band, not just him, but being grouped in with bands like Crocus.
What the hell did you just say?
And because I would only hear them once on the radio, didn't know who they were.
Oh, in your head?
In my head.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I would just see them on like Headbangers Ball or something like that. And so there are all these bands. There's the main bands, Iron Maiden, yes. But then there's always over to the side was the bands like Crocus and Lynch Mob, other bands like off to the side that weren't hugely popular. I kind of lumped Danzig in there thinking they're just one of these, I don't want to call them hair bands, but kind of the metal bands.
Right.
That's why I never paid attention to them, because they're always kind of lumped in my head off to the side, not knowing, they're their own genre all by themselves. And that's, as I said, I didn't appreciate that till later, but in the 80s, that's what I was thinking of them as they're kind of these one-hit bands that you would occasionally see on Headbangers Ball.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's get back to Eerie Vine. He's going to tell us some more stories about the Misfits. Because that's something we talk about, the whole crossover thing, something we call the in-betweeners. We'll get into that. But first, you did actually play a little bit of drums on this record,
right?
I'm
on like 5 songs.
Yeah. So just to give me the scoop behind that.
Glenn was, by that time,
This is like 95 when this comes out, yeah?
Oh, I don't even know. But no, this was all done way before that.
Right.
Glenn was upset because he wasn't getting paid from Slash Records, who did Walk Among Us.
Right.
They weren't getting any statements, not like usual.
Right.
They weren't getting paid. So he was like, well, he owns the songs. So like many other people, you go re-record your hit songs.
That's right.
And put them out. But they're not the hit versions. So some people will buy them, but people want the ones that are on the radio or whatever. So he said he had 6 alternate versions of side 1 or whatever, and he just needed another 5 or 6 to flesh out the album, and he was going to put out his own version on Plan 9. It's going to be Walk Among Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, you want to go in the studio and do some Misfit songs? I said, sure. So I knew all songs on drums, played all songs probably too fast, and he thought if we just went in the studio and played the songs to the right notes and stuff, it would sound like the Misfits. And of course it didn't, and we played one song that the Misfits never did that he always wanted to record called Mephisto Waltz. And so we did that. And then whenever Caroline bought the catalog,
right,
I think, and they wanted to put out this collection 2, everything was in just a big box. Like, here's all the tapes. And that tape was in there too.
And so they just put it on.
They just didn't know. Well,
right.
They kind of knew, but they wanted to put it on anyway.
I think it's super cool that, it's not even the Misfits, but it is.
It's so funny. Yeah. But I was just helping out my friend.
Yeah.
He wanted to do this, and I was like, sure. And at the same time, we were working on Legacy of Brutality. Like, he was bringing in the tapes, and he was putting them up on I guess we transferred them to, it was still like 16 track then. And then he wanted to add some bass on a couple of songs that he didn't like what Jerry was playing or whatever. So he added some bass. He goes, "You want to play bass?" I'm like, "I ain't touching these songs." You know, this is like, you don't go back and mess with stuff.
Right.
You know, you just try to make the tape sound better, remix them, whatever. And I'm like, I ain't playing those songs. So he played on a couple. He put those songs out at the same time we were doing this, and we did a 10th anniversary version of Cough Cool. That might be on there. I don't know. And it just, I don't know. We played to the record, put the record on the tape, and we played along with the record, and he changed because he didn't like the drum beat because it was too jazzy. So he wanted more of a straight beat.
I don't think anyone's ever called the Misfits jazzy.
That's the first.
Well, the first record, the band really didn't know what was. You couldn't tell where we were going, where they were going. So the first drummer, Manny, who's also from Lodi, he played more of a, instead of straight time, he played around what the vocals were doing, you know, like jazz, or like John Densmore from the Doors would do, you know.
Right.
So it was like, you know, sing a line and then he'd go boom, 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 boom. And Glenn wanted boom, ba, you know. So he threw a beat on there, and that was it. I haven't heard any of this shit in forever, so I don't know. I think I heard one or two, and I'm like, oh, it's awful.
All right. So, you know, I do what I've done before in these interviews, which is, you know, Podcaster 101. Don't use a visual reference if you don't have a YouTube or a recorded video version of your podcast. And that's what I did. I held up a visual reference. So what he was reacting to was me holding up a copy of Misfits Collection 2, which actually came out on Caroline in 1995. I didn't really know when the songs, it's a compilation, and there's not a lot of information on when the songs were actually done and how they were put together on this collection, but I knew that at some point Glenn Danzig had redone some songs and that Eerie Von was involved. So it was kind of cool to get that story. And I'm actually going to play a song that he mentioned. He said that Glenn always wanted to record the song Mephisto Waltz, and they did, just the two of them. And I'm going to play that song because it never came out by the Misfits. Apparently they demoed it and never released it on anything. And the Misfits, if you go look at their catalog right now, there's not a ton of stuff with Danzig. There's Earth AD, there's Legacy Brutality, but even that's a compilation. Earth AD was a combination of two EPs. They did a lot of EPs and a lot of singles.
That was a punk thing to do.
They didn't have the money to put out full albums back then, so they did a lot of that. And so a lot of what you can get now are just basically compilations of those singles or those EPs in different configurations, different versions, demos, and things like that. So it's kind of hard to know what version of the song you're getting sometimes. I believe there is a site out there, a Misfits site, that breaks everything down to the nth degree of the details. Yeah, so
rock and roll spreadsheets, that's what everybody wants.
It's so punk rock.
Oh my God, turns women on.
Oh, the time you spend to put all that together, women love that.
You merge data, they're like, oh yeah, merge that data. Merge that, sort that filter. Oh, that filter's great, man, right there.
Oh, Robert. Yes, Robert. You are a pervert?
All right. Well, let's get a little filter on this. We're going to give you some Misfits, sort of. Mephisto Waltz. Quote. Yes.
Misfits.
Better said, here's Glenn and Eerie from Collection 2. It came out in 1995. They did this in 1986, I believe. This is Mephisto Waltz.
totally worth the wait. I couldn't have told you the difference between that and 5 other of their songs.
And regular Misfits.
Regular Misfits,
Yeah.
all the same. But
Yeah.
hey, they still got it.
Yeah. One thing to be said about Misfits is the recordings were always lo-fi.
Lo-fi.
Is
Budget.
As little as they could spend on it, that's what they did. And whatever they got, that's what they got.
And I think that's why I started liking them more in the 90s because, as we all know, we got tired of the overproduced music and overproductions and on everything.
This is probably a little below what production value should be, but
maybe bump it up just a hair.
I don't know if many people know Glenn Danzig. He writes the music. He doesn't just sing it. He writes the music and plays it. So he does the guitar. He does the bass. I think he was the original bass player in Misfits.
He's
as
the
well.
punk rock Billy Corgan.
Yeah, so he kind of does everything. So you don't really know when you're hearing it, okay, how much has Glenn done? Mm-hmm. You heard Eerie say he replaced some Jerry Only bass lines on an old album.
Yeah.
So you don't really know, is it all Glenn? Is it other people? You just don't know. I guess we'd have to interview Glenn to find out.
You never have to worry about me replacing any of your bass lines or drum tracks on any of our stuff.
You're not going to do it?
Never have to worry about that.
Okay. You're not very Danzig-esque.
No.
Okay.
No. It's good. Just leave it.
All right. Well, good. Well, we're going to move on from Misfits. He's going to tell us about the next band, the band that he was really part of with Glenn, that they took the vision. This is kind of the creepiest version of a band that they've done. It's called Samhain. Now, I think everybody mispronounces this. So they pronounce it Samhain. Mm-hmm. I think the real pronunciation of that word is Samhain.
Oh, yes.
I think
absolutely.
the Celtic version is Samhain.
Yes. You have to look it up and get a tutorial on how to pronounce that correctly.
Brandon and I always thought this band's name was Samhain.
Well, you sound fancier, because if you said Samhain, you're like,
Samhain
no,
didn't sound right to us.
That sounds redneck, so we're going to accent the
But you hear these guys from New Jersey, they say Samhain. They were in the band, so it's Samhain.
Exactly. It's their choice. They can pronounce it however they want to. But yeah, the real pronunciation is much more complicated.
I think is the actual. Yes. Well, let's get into...
It's Celtic or something.
I believe it is Celtic, yes. Let's get into the next discussion here with Eerie Vaughn. Okay, so I want to go back to something you mentioned. So you guys do Samhain, right? You guys kind of just, to me, as a listener growing up, it was like, it's just like a continuation from Misfits to Samhain, then to Danzig. So you guys consciously made the decision to get a little more metal, right? With each thing, it like got a little heavier, got a little more metal, but that was just the time, right?
No.
Or was it a conscious decision?
There was never a conscious decision, unless it was Glenn sitting in his room making a conscious decision.
Okay.
Because we would just talk about stuff. And mostly, that's what everybody always says. Well, didn't you guys decide to do this and you changed your look and all that? I'm like, most of that just happened.
You're right.
The Samhain thing was, Glenn and I were friends by this point, and we talked all the time on the phone, and we'd hang out. He didn't have a car, so I'd take him to the post office or the bank or something. We'd go have lunch, So we were talking about how we were dissatisfied with the guys in our band, like not showing up, not wanting to do this, not wanting to do that.
Yeah, we've been in bands. We know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So we were simpatico when it came to that.
Yeah.
So he said, well, I want to do a new band. Do you want to do a new band with me? And I'm like, yeah. He says, okay, well, I got one more show. It's on Halloween. It's in Detroit. I'm going to do the show. I'm going to tell the guys that I'm leaving the band or breaking up the band. I can't remember what I said exactly. And when I come back, I want to do the new band. I said, okay. Came back probably the next Tuesday. We started working on the songs. So, and first show was in end of March. And the last Misfit show was in October, November, December, January, February. Say 6 months, we were already starting to record the new stuff. And yeah, that's how quick it moved. And I was still a Misfit fan. So to me, like wearing the devilock and stuff, that just made sense that I was going to continue. He never said one thing about it. He never said, I want you to wear a devilock or I don't want you to wear one.
Right. We got to stay Misfits looking.
Well, he never said anything like that. And if he had said, I don't want people to just think of the Misfits or whatever, I would have said, okay, I'll just come up with something else. But I liked it at the time, I was still a kid. And I always thought as that we were just the next version of the Misfits. And then when the band changed to Danzig, it just had to change because the two principal guys came in were completely different than us.
Right.
So it was like, well, this isn't the same band because originally those guys joined Samhain, you know. So
Yeah, because Twist of Cain was a Sam Hain song.
yeah,
right?
yeah. There was Possession was a Sam Hain song. Those guys were in the band and it was still Sam Hain, but it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And you know, with the metal aspects,
Talking about John Christ and Chuck
yeah,
Biscuit.
and Chuck could play anything. The band just needed to change and kind of start fresh. Like we'd still have a couple of people, some fans from the old days. We lost a lot of fans, of course, but we kind of wanted to make a new statement and say, well, this, and judge us from here out, you know, from here on in.
Right.
And that's how it was. It wasn't like a thing, and there was no meeting. Nobody sat down and said, we're going to do it. It was just like him and Ruben were talking, and we were at somebody's thing. It was called, I don't know, some like a record party or somebody having a party for some reason. Mm-hmm. And we were there, and we're sitting in a booth, and Rick and Glenn are there, and Glenn goes, thinking about changing the name of the band. I'm like, okay. He goes, to Danzig. And I said, ooh, just like Bon Jovi. That's the first thing I said. And Chuck and John looked at each other and they were like, we ain't been here long enough to say nothing. And I said, yeah, I don't care. Because I still thought of it as the same band. Because it was just me and Glenn anyway.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be me and Glenn all along. Like from the very beginning, we weren't going to have a band. It was just to be me and him go in the studio, bring in a guitar player, bring in a drummer, whatever we needed, and put out a record. And then whoever was available, we were going to go on, take them on tour, and that would be the band. Well, you can't really work on songs and stuff by yourself, and I wasn't cutting it on the drums, so we needed a drummer. Guy Steve Zing lives right in town. He's got a car. He could get to rehearsal.
He's got a car.
That's him, and he had a guy in his band, played guitar. He goes, yeah, Pete's a big fan. Let's have him play guitar. And that's like if you lived in town, you would have been in the band too.
And had a car.
That's just the way it was.
Yeah, man.
And that was a big deal. Being able to get to rehearsal.
Oh, I know.
Right. Showing up for every gig, every rehearsal, every recording session. That was very important, you know. And then, Glenn had his vision and I had my vision, which was basically his vision. But I wanted the same things he wanted. And if you didn't want it, then get the fuck out of my band.
We definitely experienced that.
Yeah, I was good.
Billy Wood.
Oh, Billy Wood.
You remember Billy Wood?
Yeah, so let's just bring that up because that is a big deal.
Yeah.
And we experienced it. So when you have a band and you're looking for new members of your band, you put out ads, you know, maybe it's in the local, you know, guitar shop or wherever.
I don't know how the kids do it these days.
Yeah, back in the day, that's how we did it. Or there was a local paper called Creative Loafing. You'd put it online and they would also put it in the paper.
Yeah.
And you would get, you know, sometimes you would get crazy calls from people that really didn't know how to play, and they, you know, so you'd have to try to weed it out on the phone. But
hey, man,
ultimately,
y'all play Scanner covers. I can play some Scanner, man. Come on.
Ultimately, you just have to get together with folks and see if you gel.
Go for it. Yeah.
But one of the things that we figured out very quickly as we were doing this is the question you really need to ask is, do you have a way, because we live in a big city called Atlanta, do you have a way to get to us?
Mm-hmm.
Because how many people did we have that said, "Oh, I don't have a car"?
Yeah, can't you just come over here and practice?
This is not New York City. We do not have a very good, you know, public transit system. Not out where we live.
Yeah.
If you're in the city, sure, you're okay, maybe. But it's not the same as Chicago or New York, where that would probably work. That'd be fine, but not here.
Nope.
And yes, we had several folks that didn't have a car. They could talk the talk, though.
Oh, yeah.
And L. Billy Wood was one of them.
Yeah. That was the one where we said, look, he sounds like he's good and doesn't have a car. Let's go practice at his space. He's got this. He
says he's got this awesome space.
Yeah, to practice
by the train track.
And we found out it was 5 feet from the train tracks.
It was a cinder block building.
And that was it. And I think you're the one that saw the rat.
Yeah. Here's what happened. We go there and we talk, and he had really talked a good game on the phone. And we go and we talk, and he's got a bunch of gear, but most of it doesn't work. It's like gear that he's just scrapped together.
People had thrown away, and he pulled it out of the dumpster.
And he apparently all he did was sit in that cinder block building and write songs, and he did everything. He could play every instrument, and he let us hear some of it, and it sounded less than what we heard from Rosemary's Babies and Misfits. You know, it wasn't quite together.
Yes.
Very, very minimal type
Microscopic.
stuff. He was trying to be like proggy, and it just wasn't. He wasn't pulling it off. But
and
anyhow,
that comes from somebody that's proggy.
Yeah. But anyhow, it wasn't going to work out, and I think he asked me for a ride after that, and I took him somewhere.
Right. I forgot about that.
I left my jacket, and so I had to go.
No. Wait. It turned into a ride. It wasn't like, okay,
That's right.
just take me down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go over here.
You're right. So here's what you're right. This is the way.
Yeah.
So we had our conversation. Robert and I were looking at each other like, yeah, this thing is not going to work out. And then I saw the rat. I saw a big ass rat go under the couch that we were sitting on. I'm like, well, it's time to go.
Gotta go.
In my haste is when I left the jacket on his couch. And we left, and then I called him back. That's what happened. I called him back and said, hey, man, I left my jacket. Can I come grab it?
Just real quick. I'm in a hurry.
Real quick, yeah. Yeah, man, come on back up. I went, and I grabbed my jacket, and there was no rat droppings on it. That was good. And I put it on. He's like, hey, can you take me? I need to get some stuff. You know, I need to get some groceries or something I'm just going to take me to the, to the Easy Mart, the gas station.
Quickie Mart.
Yeah. And that ended up being, hey, I got to pick something else up. Can you take me up? So I ended up taking him like 5 different places. And then when I dropped his ass off back home, like, I am never seeing this guy again.
Fuck no. Hell no.
But we still remember Billy Wood.
20 years later. I can't remember what I had for lunch today, but I remember Billy Wood.
So it is a real thing.
Yeah.
It really does mean something. If you are putting a band together, that your drummer especially the drummer, they got a lot of gear. They better have transportation.
Yep. That old Volvo or something. Throw that gear in the back of that Volvo. That's perfect. That's the ultimate drummer car. It's perfect.
All right. So let's lead in. We heard a bunch about Samhain. I'm going to play from 1985. So the Misfits officially broke up with Danzig in 83. And then he and Eerie started putting things together. And this, I think an album came out in 84, and then they put out this EP in 85 that I'm going to play from. It's called Unholy Passion. Now, this is the version of the band before the guys who would go on to form Danzig were members. So this is truly Samhain, and this band had a lot of mystique, especially with Brandon and I and the skateboard crowd, because this was the current band. The Misfits had already broken up by the time we discovered them. They were old. And this was the current band, and there was not a lot of information that we had on this band other than their album covers, which were bloody and gory and looked scary, and we loved them, but of course your mind goes, oh, what's up with these guys? So there was a lot of this creepy, eerie vibe about this band because we just didn't know. But it actually fed into the mystique and the kind of horror nature of it. So this is a song called Unholy Passion from an EP of the same name, came out in 85.
production standpoint, that was light years ahead of some of the other things because it had layers. And I'm going to use air quotes again. It had, quote, harmonies with an upward inflection at the end of that. Harmonies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even a second guitar doing...
Well, I was going to bring that up. It sounded like there was somebody off to the side trying to figure out a lead to the song.
Trying to figure out what was going on.
And they accidentally recorded it and mixed it in because he's over there just doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Like not even listening to the damn song.
So Samhain is them going from the horror punk, the campiness that was Misfits, into this darker, kind of scarier, more atmospheric sound of like horror.
Okay.
And it was more soundscape. So what you're getting is more like dissonance on purpose, but perhaps it was also, the talent that they had in the band at the time. But there's a groove in the drums and the bass that you didn't have with Misfits.
Yeah.
And that's Eerie coming in and the drummer that they had at the time. But yeah, the guitars are like very out there and
should we say avant-garde?
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. I was going to say it's like death gaze.
Death gaze. Yeah, but they're trying to not shock you, but just make it unnerving.
But you don't have the song structure that would come with Danzig, where you had like true verse chorus kind of stuff, and it was, more sing-along, and that's what I'm going to feature next. We're going to go straight into another Samhain song because I want you to see the difference. So that was the first band, and then they get John Christ and Chuck Biscuits. They join Samhain.
Chuck Biscuit?
Chuck Biscuits.
Biscuits, plural.
Yeah. He's a great drummer. It's a good name, man.
We should have come up with better names. We never did. But.
So these two guys join Samhain. They bring it to a whole different level. And this is when their sound got bigger. It got much better because John Christ is a guitar player. And they also got a lot more metal. And so I'm going to play you some Samhain featuring these guys before they decided to change the name to Danzig. Now, this came out. They never put anything out with this version of Samhain. They became Danzig, and anything they recorded had just kind of been shelved. And they went on and recorded the first Danzig album. But in 1990, they put out a Samhain kind of retrospective. It was called Final Descent, and these are the songs. Some of them were demos from the earlier band, but also these were the songs that some of them ended up on the first Danzig album, because the first Danzig album came out in 88. This comes out in 1990. By the time they put this out, Danzig 2 was already out. So these are early versions of Danzig songs, and you'll just hear the difference. There's a reason they couldn't call this Samhain, because this is a completely different sound, but this is them becoming what Danzig is. So just take a listen to this song. This was never on a Danzig album. It's called Death in Its Arms. So this is Samhain with the Danzig guys.
Embrace it,
Logic says that I should be happier with that version, but I kind of like the earlier version better.
Really?
Yeah. It was a little edgier, and I'm starting to grow on me now that I'm thinking about it. If we're talking about it a little bit more, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that too. When he's doing his voice in the punk rock style, it's tolerable. I just can't do a lot of the Danzig voice when it's just Danzig.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
It's too much.
Yeah, Scott's a little Scott Stapp going on.
What is it, yarling?
Yarling.
He's doing a little
yeah,
yarling?
He's doing a yarling, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I that's one of the reasons Mother, it's a good anthem song, sing along, but I just never got into a lot of the other stuff. But Misfits, and when it's just punk rock or when it's the horror stuff, the avant-garde, I get to say that twice on a podcast. But yeah, death rock, all of that. It fits a little bit better for me. Just my opinion. Disclaimer.
That's all good,
Just
man.
my opinion.
I love all of it, but you can definitely see the change
Yes,
in the
absolutely.
band. Like you cannot even consider that the same thing as the first version of Samhain. So it totally made sense that they decided to change the name. And, they got signed to American, which was Rick Rubin's label, and I guess it was Def American then, but they got signed to that, and Rick Rubin had a plan for them, and it worked really well. That first album came out, it was a completely different thing, and it was unique, but it was Danzig finally getting to the level of production, even though it was still kind of bare bones, but it was still the level of production that could be fed to a wider audience, perhaps.
And it did. I mean, Mother was fed to a wide audience. It was played on the same stations that all the other stuff is getting played on.
And we get into that. So let's hear Eerie's version of how that all went down. So is that what ultimately led you to leave after the fourth album?
Oh, when
you just had enough.
The band had really run its course for me,
Yeah.
And when Chuck quit the band earlier, and John and I stayed because we had a commitment. When you do the album, it's unspoken that you'll do the tour and you'll do the videos and whatever is So I said, yeah, I'm not leaving him flat like that. So John said, well, I'm going to quit after this tour, and Chuck wasn't there. It just wasn't as much fun. Glenn wasn't having any fun at all. He hated touring. He only wanted to be on the road for 2 weeks and go home. And you can't do anything in 2 weeks.
No.
And your startup costs are ridiculous. And we kept losing money because every 2 weeks we'd have to start up or, whatever. It happened a few times.
Right.
So it was just time to go.
And you guys have gone so far from, you put out that first album, you're still kind of part of the punk scene, but you're also now part of the metal scene. You're in that crossover phase, at least for us as fans. And then, come 93, you guys put out an EP, and a song that was on the first album, all of a sudden just explodes. What was that feeling like for you? Were you like, what the fuck?
Well, that was just dumb luck. Same thing happened to Aerosmith for Dream On. Put out the first album. Dream On was the single. Nobody cared, right? A couple of years later, they put it out as a single on its own, and it took off. It's just timing. So the Rubin always thought Mother could have been a hit. Well, it wasn't a hit because MTV wouldn't play the videos we gave them. And that's the way you sold records back then. There wasn't much airplay for us, unless it was college. So MTV would not play us. The only reason the song did well then is because we had a video they would play, a live video that was really awesome. And I was like, why haven't we been doing this all along? Because they loved it and they played it every day. I saw it was 5 times a day at least.
I remember.
And that's how we sold the records. But it was still the same song. It was a good song then, and it was a good song in 93. And people just went oh, this is cool, and they liked the video. It's all about timing. There was no big master plan, It was just this song needs to be heard, and was put out again.
But that feeling of, you've been doing this for so long, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, wait.
No,
I've got people
no, nothing,
all of a sudden,
nothing happened. No.
Okay.
The big things when you're pulling. First time we went to L.A. as a band, we were going to play the Palace, and it was sold out. Going to be on the radio. First time you pull into town and you hear your song on the radio, that was a big deal.
Right.
When you get a gold record, that's a big deal. When you sign a big record contract, that's a big deal. You look in Billboard and there you are in the top 40 or whatever. That's all a big deal. Yeah, the Mother thing, I was just well, they're finally playing us, but it was kind of too little too late as far as I was concerned.
Right.
Damn, that's got to be tough.
Yeah.
In that situation where you work, and then you're already kind of over it by the time it hits.
Yeah, so by the time the mother that we all kind of know, or at least, if you heard it in 93, it had come out in 88 on the first album.
Yeah.
And it just didn't go anywhere. The first album's still brilliant. The second album's great.
And I swear I heard it before then, but maybe not. That's just me thinking about it. But I heard it on, quote, classic rock radio.
I think that would have been 93.
I just assumed it came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
but
so
I probably was hearing it in 93.
The trajectory of Danzig is, by the time that single dropped, they had already put out 3 albums. And their 4th album was kind of a departure. So the EP came out between the 3rd and the 4th album. That's when they got big. And then they put out their 4th album. And I think Chuck had already left. And it's just a departure. It's a little more dirgy, a little less fun, kind of like he was saying. It didn't have the same spark as the first 3. But the first 3 Danzig albums are almost flawless, in my opinion. I just think they're so good. 4th album's not bad, but it just loses a little bit of the spark that they had. And then all the guys quit. Now, Danzig goes on. Glenn's released 8 more Danzig albums after the 4th album, but after the original band dissolved, it's kind of just became the Glenn Danzig show.
Yeah.
And he kind of brings in people, but he kind of does his own thing. He plays guitar and, all of that. It's not the band that originally put out the first 4 albums.
And if they'd hit it the first time it came out, then there would have been 2 more albums that were similar. Who knows? They could have gotten more traction, but for whatever reason...
I mean, they got, they were successful in the sense that people knew who Danzig were, and it's just, I never got to see them because by the time they were doing more touring, like their last tour, I think, was with Metallica, but I didn't get to see that tour for some reason, so it's a shame that I never got to see the original version because it would have been badass. They were a good band, and they got better with each album until they got to that 4th one, and then something happened.
Malaise.
I'm going to play from the 3rd album. I want to play some Danzig. I know that it's a little more mainstream, but I want to play a song that I think fits the Gothtober theme. It's a little lull at the first, though. It's kind of calming.
Okay.
It's kind of calming, but then you'll get this dynamic thing in the middle. So here's from Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill, the title track, How the Gods Kill.
If you ain't got the answer, if you don't know the truth, if you want the power, then let it flow through. Would you let it go? Oh, would you let it go? Oh, would you let it go? Oh, would you let it go? Cannot end this morning of my life. Show me how the gods kill. There cannot in this morning of my life show me how the gods kill.
Wow. Okay, so I've gone back to, okay, I like that too. Maybe I've just heard Mother too many times.
Yep.
That kind of grates on me a little bit, even though I like the song overall. But that is very Alice Cooper-y. Welcome to my nightmare.
Yeah, it's definitely Halloween worthy.
Yes, that was great. That was a great pick. Great pull, Kevin.
I love that song. Even though it's, the first half of it is completely mellow.
Yeah, it does.
But it's got a creepiness,
a
creepiness to it, and then it just bang, just hits you. And John Christ is master, just like Zakk Wylde, master of the pinch harmonics.
Yes.
You know a riff is John Christ when you hear it. Because
nothing wrong with that.
It's got pinch harmonics all throughout it, and that was just a staple of everything he did with Danzig. So if you like that sound, the first 3 Danzig albums has a ton of it.
To look into that now.
But I love that song. That's one of the albums that, for whatever reason, I was really big into the first 2, and when the third one came out, I didn't gravitate towards it at first. And going back to it now, I'm like, well, I don't know why, because it's really, really good.
You're a mature adult now, Kevin.
I guess so.
You appreciate
I thought they had sold out when they got to album 3.
We thought everybody had sold out.
Everything is about selling out back then. And now it's just like, who gives a shit? What does that even mean?
Go make that money. Go make the money.
They did have a minor hit from that third album called Dirty Black Summer. I don't know if you remember that song.
Yeah.
That was probably the other tune, because they were just getting some success, and then the EP comes out and Mother overtakes everything with with that. But anyway.
At least they had a second song to play at shows that people recognized.
Yeah, and Twist of Cain has always been one of my favorites. That's the first song on the first album, the one that frontman covered. Most people remember the frontman version.
Oh, sure.
I think,
sure, yeah.
I think
that
most
was
people
classic.
remember. Yeah, little did they know we didn't write that song. But
nope, never would have guessed.
Nor Electric Funeral. I know Brandon said he did, but we did not write that song either. Anyway, I digress.
Classic rock.
Okay, let's get into wrap up here with Eerie Von. He's got lots to tell us about what's been going on ever since he left Danzig. So here we go. What can we talk about now? Because I know you were here promoting other things. I know that I assume that you're focusing more on art, photography, and you got a new album out as well that you put out last year.
I'm here because I'm working on new songs. So I was just like, oh, well, I'll come down and do this thing, and then like last night, I got to work on 3 songs just with the guy I did the last record with, and some drummer I don't even know. And so like when I go back, we're going to do that, and then tomorrow we're going to try to record a few things just so I can take them home and work on them. But yeah, I paint. I've been painting full time for 26 years. That means every day. I play guitar every day. I never used to practice. I like all through the bands. I never picked up this shit. I mean, I didn't sit home. I was having too much fun. I didn't sit home and play. John would sit there for 6 hours and play guitar. I'm like, no. But I do that now. Like, right. I'll play all day, play for an hour, put it down, pick up a painting, work on words or whatever, melodies, anything. And that's what I do. So I got another book coming out. It's almost done.
Is it photography or is it art?
It's a continuation of the last book.
Okay.
So all the good photos that didn't make it in the last book. And I'm also trying to get a book of the paintings out. I want to do just one on a page, like maybe this big, and yeah. So that's how I make my living. I'm an artist. I actually paint and sell my paintings, and that's how I keep the lights on.
That's awesome.
But I'm still a punk rock guy and a musician at heart. So
right.
I can't not write songs and work on things and stuff.
So what direction are you going this time around?
I don't. Oh, who knows?
You don't know?
No, I never.
Because you did country, right? You did a little country in the last
that's
one.
why it's called kind of country, because I didn't know what to call it when people said, "Well, what kind of music are you playing?" or "What's this record sound like?" I'm like, "Well, it's kind of country." Yeah, but country people would go like, "That ain't country," and then blues people would be like, "That's I don't know about that." So they were calling it dark country. I don't know. I just write a song. That's something I learned from Glenn. He's like, sometimes you write a song and it's not right for the project you're working on or the band you're in. He wrote a lot of Samhain songs during the Misfit time, and he would just say, this ain't right for the Misfits. I'm going to save these for the next band, which is what he did. So it's the same thing. I write, song comes down, you just write it. You re-record it, you put it on the shelf, and you go, oh, that'll work on this album. And you take it off and you put it in with the mix, So I have no idea. This stuff's more guitar and maybe a little heavier. I had to get all those songs out of my head, and they'd been sitting in my head for years, so I had to get all that out. And now it's good. Now I'm done with that shit. So now whatever happens is new for me. So I don't know. It's still going to be like the flavor. It's still going to have country flavor. Yep. But, I play everything the same way. I'm just a punk rock guy. That's the way I play.
Well, I love how you play, man, and you've been an inspiration for a long time. So I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've given to us as fans, man.
No, I never get tired of hearing that. And the fact that people say, "Oh, you got me through, junior high. You got me through high school. I was going through a bad time, and your music really helped me out." And I understand that. Because the same thing happens to me. I want to feel good. I put something on, and it's just my day's better.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wouldn't even play music if it weren't for you guys. So.
Oh well, I love that. Anytime somebody decides to start a band because of you or whatever, yeah, that's great. I that's the only way it keeps rolling over.
Well, cool, man. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this out as its own episode, and I'm gonna drop in some songs from your career.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
If that's cool, and then if you have something new that you want to share or that I can put in, I'll do that as well.
I have, if you want, I'll give you a copy of the new record.
That'd be great.
Because you don't have it because you didn't buy it from me.
No, I was going to get it today.
The only reason, you would have it is if you got it from me. Then I'd already know you.
We'd love that. Yeah.
That'd be awesome,
Well,
man.
you could just come by because I don't.
I'll come by.
Now I have to talk to him. So.
Cool.
Well, I'm glad it was.
Thank you so much.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, no problem.
What a great gift is inspiration. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
If you can give that to somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Just as Robert was going, I wanted to cut him off. Like I
didn't say a damn thing the whole interview. God, this is what I got to put up with, people. So I get 2 words per episode.
Well, you started in right as he was walking away to Ian's table, and I had to cut the recording off because he was walking to the next table.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to. There were no laws broken. There was nobody with a gun at your head.
Robert started waxing poetic with him, and I cut the recording off.
Hey, we were still talking. I walked over there and took up 20 minutes of their podcast time, too.
Oh, man. So I went over to his table an hour or 2 after we did the interview, and I bought his book here. It's called Misery Obscura. It's really cool. It's basically his photography history of Misfits, Samhain and Danzig, and then he shows some of his paintings. He talks about his career as a solo artist up to probably, I want to say, like 2015 or so. Really cool stuff if you like Misfits, and it's got an awesome picture of him on the cover, which I'm going to use for our cover.
Look at that hairdo.
I think it's cool. That is a devilock.
That is, yeah, that's a receding devil.
Yeah, he doesn't rock that anymore. He's got the gray long hair now, and wears the cowboy hat. He looks cool as shit. So as he mentioned, he does have an album out. It's somewhere between country, blues, swamp, and punk, and it's called Not For Nothing. Now, that came out last year. He's still working on a new one now, but he wrote in my book. I bought the book and the CD,
of course,
and he was like, "Thanks for coming over and getting it. I'll write you something in the book." And here's what he wrote: "Kevin, make sure you play my new record. Thanks, Eerie Vaughn." And then he drew a little bat.
Sorry, I walked away while Robert was talking. It's kind of boring. He just keeps talking. I just had to walk away.
So I'm going to play his new album because he asked me to play it. So we're going to play a song. Now, this is nothing like anything we've heard up to this point. This is where he is now, or where he was in 2024, a year ago. This is a song called It Ain't Love from Not For Nothing. And the only way you get this is by going up to Eerie Vaughn and asking for it.
Just a lie, you don't get back. plastic balloon, a popcorn box with nothing in it. Cause it ain't love that you found, boy. You know there's one born every minute. It ain't love, just when it ain't love. You know there's one born every minute. It ain't love, just when it ain't love. You know there's one born every minute. It ain't love. It ain't love. No, it ain't love. It ain't love. It ain't love. No, it ain't love.
Well, you are welcome to bring that album back if you want to.
Yeah, it's kind of swampy, kind of stonesy. I like it.
Yeah, not as heavy as we normally play,
No.
but it's more Route 66, bluesy
Good
rock,
driving music.
driving music, road trip music. A little, just getting really close to Molly Hatchet,
A little bit.
flirting with disaster.
I mean, that's one of the upbeat tunes on it. He's
Yeah.
got some more country on here. And
Yeah.
the album before this one was called Kinda Country, and this one's kind of a little more swamp rock to me.
Okay.
Which I dig.
Yeah. It's not quite as hot. It's just more early summer,
Right.
Not quite as swampy.
Yeah. It doesn't get deep into the
You feel like
mire.
picking up the beat a little bit until about late July. It's like you got to just sit still.
Yeah, but good stuff, and I can't wait to hear what he does next because he said he's going a little heavier. So if he takes that kind of thing and
Yeah.
heavies it up a bit, that'll be really
we're going to
really
be
in
playing
our
that.
wheelhouse. Yeah. So that's what I got for you tonight. I felt like Gothtober was the right time to
was.
present Eerie Vaughn and the Misfits.
I forgot that we hadn't played that interview yet.
Yeah, it's
so that's perfect.
our last interview that we've yet to play. So now
So we
this
actually
is
have to
it.
go back and start actually doing work now.
We have to do interviews again. Apparently.
Okay, all right.
So much easier when somebody else sets it up. Though.
I know it's really easy.
But I felt like Gothtober was the right season for this.
We got one more week.
We have one more week. Our next episode comes out on Halloween.
I have not yet binge listened to Typo Negative. That's kind of getting to the point where, I like them. I mean, I love them, but I'd listened to them so much that I'd made it a special thing where I just wait until Gothtober to really just hammer it. And I had a whole day and a half of disco.
What the hell did you just say?
I got on a tangent. I heard a disco song, and it was just one of those things where I was pretty young when disco came out, so it was more of my sister listening to it. But it's one of those things like re-listening to stuff that had been a background song, and I'm like, what the hell? And there's some good stuff. It's also Cool in the Gang. So I just come off that concert, and I was like, I like funk, but like trying to find more disco, like actual disco music.
So we were kids when disco was king.
Late 70s, 81,
early 80s.
maybe in 82.
And I remember, being a rock guy in the 80s, a punk and rock dude in the 80s, it was like disco sucks. Even though it had already passed by the time that we kind of came into our, I'm a punk rocker or I'm a rock guy. But it was always disco sucks. But then when you started going back and listening to it, and I've always loved funk. To me, funk and disco are very similar, but not. It's like it is, but it's not.
Slight different beat to it.
Yeah. But if you go back and you listen to that late 70s especially, that late 70s disco, the players on those albums are phenomenal. Like the drummers are in there. It's just so in the pocket, and the bass. Oh my God, disco bass is amazing.
And it's just it was
It's
never
just got
sitting in
such a groove, and it's all over the place. And usually you get some real orchestration, so you've got like this real symphony kind of thing. And yeah, it's a little cheesy, but at the same time, it's like, damn, it's like really well produced. And now, of course, some of the songwriting gets a little cheesy, but that's kind of part of the appeal too.
Cheesy, but it was happy. It was upbeat.
It was
fun.
about dancing.
It's about just having a good time.
It was just about dancing.
Very eerily similar to a lot of hair band stuff where it got super popular and then there's this massive backlash. But it was also, those guys were shredders. They're really talented and it was just fun. It was not very deep music. And then we had a backlash. So you and I grew up at a time during the backlash.
Right.
We didn't really know about it that much other than Kiss.
We were into the stuff that came out after that killed it.
Not Gene, Paul Stanley going to Studio 54,
That's right.
dancing all night, coming home and writing. He wrote his own disco song, which that was my first Kiss song that I ever remember.
He manufactured a disco song after hearing it in the club.
It's Studio 54. Yep, rock and roll
it is
version
now their most downloaded, the most listened, most streamed song.
How about that?
Most famous
Not
Kiss
Detroit
song
Rock
of all
City.
time.
That's the most famous one?
Because in recent years, Youngblood did a cover of it. They've used it in a lot of different movies and TV and all this.
Because it was looked down upon by a lot of Kiss
for
fans
a long time,
because the backlash. They didn't want to associate themselves with disco.
They called Dynasty the disco album, and the fact is, it only has that song and one other song. Sure Know Something was a little bit disco.
They knew people would buy it if you mentioned the word disco.
Yeah, it worked.
These guys, they're smart guys.
They were pretty smart.
Yeah. So that
until they weren't.
Loved all that. That's been my weird binge for the week, and so I've got to step up, and it's time for some typo.
Well, I know you just scared a lot of our listeners, so definitely disco talk on a Gothtober show makes sense because you just scared the shit out of people.
That is my brain right there. Squirrel.
So we'll leave it there until next week when we haunt you on Halloween. Later.